Hello, good people. Welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. The military, some time ago, precisely on July 5th, went to Nkanu Ibiam International Airport and they arrested a particular individual. The reason why they arrested him was linked to the sponsorship of IPOB and ESN activity. Don't forget that IPOB and ESN are considered to be proscribed by the Nigerian government, and as such, they seem to be fighting and also arresting those who are suspected to be sponsors of this particular group, who are fighting for freedom and who are seeking for self-determination. Now, when the young man was arrested, a lot of Nigerians were talking, and most people were like, before you carry out such thing, you've got to investigate, get to know if this person is truly involved in doing this thing, because periods like this, a lot of people have been pinpointed and been accused of something they know not of. I could still remember some time ago, this same thing happened where a young man who is an oil company staff was seen on the road when the issue of this ESN was going on. He was arrested and was paraded as one of the ESN, while the company even had to confirm that he just went in, to, I think, for a burial or something. So, but right now, the court has, the judiciary has taken a central stage on this matter of his arrest and the allegation leveled against him, and you'll be shocked what the court have to say. And guess what? Is in favor of this so-called accused IPOB sponsor. We're going to give you all the details about this, but before we do that, if you've not subscribed to our channel, kindly hit on the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish our videos. Now, according to the news, Justice Stephen Palm of the Federal High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has ordered the Nigerian Army to release one Tochukwu Okeke, who has been in detention since July 5th over an allegation that he is a sponsor of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and his militant wing, the Eastern Security Network, ESN. The court ordered the unconditional release of the detainee after it heard a fundamental right enforcement suit that was filed on his behalf by his lawyer, Mr. Chinedum Agwarambo. It directed the service of the order on the Nigerian Army, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, and the General Officer Commanding GOC 82 Mechanized Division, Enugu, Major General Torid Lagbaja, who were listed as first to third respondent in the suit mark FHC/PH/203/2021. The court was in a 26-paragraph affidavit that was deposed by Mr. Ani Nkem, told that the applicant was on July 5th arrested at the Nkanu Ibiam International Airport by military officers. The deponent alleged that the applicant had since then remained in military cell at Enugu, that in spite of the fact that nothing criminal or incriminating was established against him, the respondent have failed to release him or charge him to court or have him transferred to the Nigerian police cell, and have continued to detain him at their cell without good food or water. That the men and officers of the respondent have conducted a search of his abode, but all their searches and ransacking of his home did not yield anything insidious or incriminating against him or lend any credence to the vague accusation by the officers of the respondents that he was suspected of being a sponsor of the proscribed group IPOB and its ESN. That the physical, mental, and emotional health condition of the applicant is deteriorating daily under the torturous incarceration by the respondent. That I believe that there is a grave danger of the applicant dying of health issues or brain complication at the hands of the respondent, except this honorable court intervened to save his life, the affidavit reads. For many, this is a great news. Now, one of the things that we have to correct, especially in an environment like ours, is that things should be properly investigated before steps are taken. Now, for example, let's look at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Immediately, the they had the case of Hush Puppy, they took number of years, or let me say number of months, to investigate every single person that was involved in it. Like now that they are robbing Abakari, they have provided proofs. For example, I could still remember the way they publish their WhatsApp gist and all conversation and all of that. They have also listed proofs everywhere pointing to the fact that, Abakari is involved in it. And they are demanding him come over and let us also quiz you, so that we will be so sure that we are not getting anything wrong, and we will treat you in accordance to your right as, a global citizen, as a citizen of Nigeria. You understand? And I guess these are some of the things that should be done so that we don't end up killing or maiming or do anything nefarious to people who are not even guilty of anything. First of all, we know that though IPOB is prescribed as, a terrorist group, they are absolutely not. We all know that they are all pushing for self-determination. They're only saying, hey, we are tired of staying in Nigeria and we want out of the country. And the activities of ESN the focus had been for them to stop Fulani herdsmen from, doing what they were doing in the southeast, which was obvious to all eyes. We all saw it, and we knew that what they were doing was not right. We saw cases of a lot of people being maimed. We saw cases of women and children and adults, females being taken advantage of. We saw a lot of things happen. You understand? And these guys were like, we can't sit back and watch, our own people passing through the ruthless hands of these so-called armed herdsmen, and that was why they were formed. So you now realize that despite the fact that we are considering them to be almost a terrorist group, they were only defending their own. You understand? They were defending their future. They were defending their ethnic group and all of that. Now, bringing forth people, calling them sponsors and all of that, for me, I feel that there should be proper investigation so that we don't end up shooting people who are not even guilty, just because somebody who possibly may have hated the person just pointed out and said, hey, this man is involved in it. Maybe they have a little squabble here or there, and he now decided, okay, I'm going to implicate him and all of that. Some of those things we have to take into consideration. And I also feel that we have to set up a system of government where the part of judiciary is earnestly being played and their orders are not being trivialized, irrespective of who is involved. I could still remember some time ago where orders will be given to Malami, that's the Attorney General of the Federation, and we see people just gambling with it, and the same thing with other key political leaders, and they seem not to respect it. Now, this thing goes an extra mile to undermine, the judiciary. Judiciary with like the last place and the last hope of the common man. Whenever they speak, there is speedy response. And I feel that they should be given back their power, and it should be reenacted in the Constitution, so that all of these things where people are being arrested and kept where they are not supposed to be kept. Ordinarily, the military don't have any business with that. What they do is just transfer the case to the police, and the police will do the needful. Possibly they can be checkmating it to ensure that the right thing is done. You understand? And I feel all of this must be handled with care. I know that the military treated him based on the allegation that was leveled against him, and based on the fact that, he was working with a group which the federal government has prescribed, as a terrorist group. We all understand that. But I think more carefulness should be carried out in executing some of this responsibility, so that we don't end up indicting people who are actually not involved in all of this. I like to